So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I've literally made over thousands of dollars per day in profit while I'm only like 22 years old right now. So what you can see on your screen right now, it's literally payment notifications like that I received personally from my business. So sometimes it was like almost 4 grand. Also that's in euros, by the way. So in USD, it was more like around 4.5k. Here you can see almost 1 grand in USD. Now I want to quickly mention there's a few more spots for a free one-to-one consultation call with me. If you want to apply for that, click the link in the description below. We'll see what's blocking you from making more money, how you can fix that, and you might get the chance to join my premium mentorship program. The first thing you really need to understand is that you're choosing stupid business models. The reason why I've been able to get to the level where I'm getting these kinds of notifications literally every single day, it's because I chose the right business model. Look, I've spoken to literally hundreds of people like you and me at this point. And I noticed something, like most people are hardworking, like they can do the work, they're ambitious, like they want to be more successful. They agree that, the corporate 9-to-5 world is just modern slavery at this point, at least for most jobs. Like unless you really love your job, let's face it, most people, I've seen this growing up, they just go to a job that they don't really like just because they tolerate it, just because it pays the bills and that's it. And hey, what else could they do, They have to survive to pay their bills, etc. But the amount of people who live paycheck to paycheck is honestly just scary. My father was a nurse and my mother a nursing assistant. So we weren't poor technically, yeah, but we weren't rich at all, and life sucked. And so you want to get out of this, and then one day you stumble upon online business, like I did. I was around 11 years old when that happened. I was just about to turn 12, and I discovered, wow, you could actually make money online. I just typed how to get rich on Google, and I started to read books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then I eventually typed how to get rich on YouTube, and I stumbled upon a video by a guy who literally showed like how much money he made. So he was showing like screenshots of money, that kind of stuff. And I was like, wow, because the guy had made over 70,000 euros, so around 80k in dollars in the last month alone. And I was like, wow, if you can make that much money, it's like, a lot of people don't even make that in a year with a job. So I was like, wow, how do I do this? And so just like you, I ended up browsing the internet, wondering, okay, well, which business model do I need to get started with? Because there's so many. Like there's Amazon FBA, there's investing in the stock market. It's not technically speaking a business model. Same thing with investing in crypto, but people mix these things together. I see that happen a lot of the time. Then there's affiliate marketing. So ClickBank is literally one of the most popular affiliate marketing platforms on the internet. There's Shopify, which people use to build an online store and do dropshipping. So basically what they do is they resell products from Wish or AliExpress on their own website. Then there's what we call print on demand. Printful is a platform that lets you, like you pick for example, shirts, mugs, like any kind of clothing really. There's phone cases, accessories, and you put your own unique design on those, and then people are supposed to buy these. And the advantage is, it's kind of like with dropshipping, the company will only make the product and ship it to the customer after you get a sale. So if you wanted to do traditional e-commerce, you'd need to come up with at least, realistically, 50k to 100k to start your brand. Like, there's no guarantee you're ever gonna see that money ever again. It's the same thing with brick and mortar businesses. And look, right now, if you're wondering, okay, why are you telling me this? Like, I just want to know step by step what you did. This is the first step, my guy. I'm gonna show you exactly what you can do to get started, what you need to sell, how much you need to sell it for. But first, you need to understand this. Not every business model is equal. Some businesses are easier to succeed with than others. That's just how it works. And a lot of people don't realize that, and they're still stuck at the stage of wondering what business they need to pick. If it's the first time you're watching my channel, then you don't even know what business model I do. You could be thinking I do dropshipping or affiliate marketing or whatever. I don't, for a reason. So just to keep it quick, and then I'll show you step by step how I did it. Amazon FBA, I've spoken to so many people who tried it, and they invested, like 10k, 20k into that business, like buying the inventory up front. What you do is you buy a ton of inventory up front of a product you believe is going to sell like hotcakes. Then you send it to Amazon, and when somebody buys it while they're browsing Amazon, they just send it to you. They just send it to the customer automatically, and you don't have to lift a finger. Now that's great, but honestly, first, most people who try this fail because they pick the wrong product. So they just dump 10k, 20k into the wrong product, and it's a fucking disaster, let me tell you that. And then the other disastrous thing that happens is, let's say you're successful with this. Well, then Amazon is gonna copy your product and sell it themselves. So then you lose all your money. because you only rely on Amazon's customers, and guess what? They care about their money more than yours. So forget about this. Then there's core communities. It's like, for example, you sell a $49 a month membership or a $27 a month membership, and you've got your own community. This is an awesome business model if you've got at least 50,000 followers on a social media platform. If you don't, forget about it. You're going to have one person in your community. It's not worth it. This is being a remote sales rep. So basically what you're going to do is sell these high ticket programs for entrepreneurs who have them. For example, let's say you're selling a $3,000 program or even a $5,000 program. Let's say you close the deal, like you get on this sales call with the person, you ask them some questions, you see if they're qualified, and if they are, you make them an offer, you pitch them. And on average, like your commission is going to be 10% to 20%. Meaning, for example, if you sell a $3,000 program, you get the sale, somebody pays in full, you're going to make $300 for speaking to one person for 1 hour. So it seems like it's a great business model. And it kind of is, but it's not a business. You're being a freelancer. You're being an employee just remotely. So it can be a way to make good money and to learn sales. Like sales jobs are great if you want to have a job to get started. But if you want to make 30K a month, 60K a month, even more, and you want to be your own boss, not work for someone else, it's not the right opportunity. Then people rely on becoming influencers, blowing up on TikTok. Again, don't rely on luck to get rich. If you want to get famous, it's much easier to first get rich and then you make yourself famous because you can show an incredible life. You can have, like, you've got the resources to make insane social media content rather than relying on getting famous to somehow get rich. Like, it's a fucked up way of doing things. Then the print on demand thing, I explained what it was, but like, you're not gonna make any money with this unless you're like Kim Kardashian or whatever. Nobody's gonna buy your thing. Like, there's so many shirts and mugs that people can buy. I mean, everybody who started this field, from all the hundreds of people I've spoken with. Then there's investing in crypto. It's great if you're willing to lose your money. Like, you invest, okay, but be prepared to lose it because yes, it can go up overnight, but you can also lose everything overnight. So forget about this until you've got serious money to play with. Now, the stock market, it's probably one of the most passive ways to make more money and to get richer, but not to get rich. You can get richer, not get rich. Remember that. Unless you're willing to wait until you're 70 years old and your whole life has passed you by. Also, you don't even have the guarantee of making it up until 70 years old. You could have a car crash. You could have some kind of disease that makes you die at 50. So do not rely on something extremely long term. That's not a life. Once you make at least 10K per month, okay, invest in the stock market. Before that, actually build a business, like an online business that can make you 100K per month or at least 10K per month. Affiliate marketing is good, but again, unless you have a big audience, you're not going to make money. If you try to run ads to an affiliate program, I mean, you don't understand that for advertising to work, you need to be very careful about the margins. So if you get 10 to 30% of a product, your margins are so small, you'd be lucky to make 1% in profit margins. It is not worth it. Same thing with reselling like bullshit products like a lamp, a fidget spinner, whatever, on your cute Shopify store. People, when they're going to see your ad, they're going to look up the name of the product, buy it on AliExpress or Amazon directly. Why would they buy it for 3 times the price on your shitty store? And it's going to take like 2 weeks to be shipped because it's coming from China, whatever, when they could just go on Amazon, buy it for less and get it faster. You're not going to win this war. You're just not. Okay, back in 2010, it worked. It's one of the first business models I tried. And I got some sales, but really we weren't profitable. And we got our ad accounts shut down all the time, even though we literally played by the book, you know? So people think they're going to succeed with these stupid-ass business models. And most of the time, no, they're not. They're really not. So you've got to ask yourself, how all your favorite gurus, and even me, are actually getting filthy fucking rich on the internet? Well, if you know any of these guys, they all have one thing in common. They sell what we call info. So it's online courses, high-ticket coaching programs, that kind of thing. The reason why is because it's extremely high profit. Especially if you use social media content to get customers, you can have profit margins as high as 90 to 95% because there's no advertising cost. Like, you might have to pay a video editor when you want to make more content, etc. Not when you're getting started, but still your profit, it's not gonna dip below 80% if you do it right. Like, can you imagine with these business models, with the exception of small communities, because it's info, like with any of these business models, you get 10 to 20% in profit. We are gonna crush you. We get 80% in profit. And again, we can get 90 to 95%. You're gonna beat the guy who makes like 20%. Because look, let's say 2 people make 10K, all right? we both made 10K. So here is $10,000. Here is $10,000 again. This is dropshipping, all right? And this is info. I can't even write. You see, you don't have to be smart to make money, apparently. I can't even write. Info, again, is online courses, high-ticket coaching programs, dropshipping, you resell some garbage AliExpress product. For example, see, we're on AliExpress right now, and some people, they're literally gonna sell... Wait, there's so much shit on my screen, I can't even see anything. Some people are gonna sell this. Like, that's gonna be the winning product, because for some reason it's gonna be trendy, maybe there's a meme on social media, and then that's what people are gonna say. A funny goose plush toy. I mean... Okay, right. Then you're gonna sell that thing for like 15 bucks, but you're gonna have to pay for the ads. Like you're gonna pay $10 for a client. So now you're only having like $5 in profit, and then there's a commission fee. Like when you use a payment processor, there's a fee. Like you pay 2% or sometimes even more per transaction. So now you're losing money on every deal. And if you try to sell it for 20 bucks, you know what's gonna happen? When people see your ad, they're gonna be like, okay, it's a funny goose plush toy. Well, let's see if Amazon has it. And oh, Amazon is gonna have it for $5 and same day delivery. You can't win. So the problem is, I mean, if you're lucky, you're gonna get 5 to 20% in profit with something like dropshipping. With info again, you're getting 90% most of the time. So out of $10,000 that you made, you're only keeping $500 to $2,000. And the worst part is that's before you even pay taxes, bro. Like, you may as well work with a McDonald's job, you know? This business like dropshipping, affiliate marketing, it only becomes worth it when you start to make 100,000 per month in revenue. Now, not to mention, most people won't even get to 10K per month in revenue. So imagine 100,000 per month in revenue, right? Most people never get to 10K in the first place because they just choose shitty business models. Now with info, when we make 10K, well, we keep in profit $9,000. And yeah, okay, it's before taxes, but I mean, would you rather keep $500 or $9,000 before taxes out of $10,000? I think it's pretty obvious. And that's why you see everybody doing info. Now, this guy, if you don't know him, his name is Russell Brunson. He's the founder of ClickFunnels. And the way he actually started a software company, which is literally making hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's worth, I think, hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, if I'm not wrong. And the way he did that without investors is he sold courses to reinvest the money into his software. I mean, even Ivan Gadzi, what he did is he sold courses, like it wasn't doing SMMA, whatever, he was selling courses, and then he used that money to fuel all of his other brands, to blow up on social media, to have this crazy content repurposing team, and also to create a software, to create a drinks brand, whatever. That's what they all do. They start with info, and then they sell, like, they'd go into more complex business models, like a software, a clothing brand, a drinks brand, whatever. I'm gonna do certain things like that in the future, I have my plans, but that's what they all do. Because that's how you get filthy rich in the social media era. Now, what these people have in common is it's in the make money online niche. I do not recommend that you get into that niche. The simple reason being it's a very difficult market. People think, oh, it's easy, it's easy. No, it is not. Believe me, it is not. And also, if you've never made money online, then you can't teach people how to make money online, you dumbass. So when I say info, you don't need to sell info in how to make money online as a guru. Like, you don't need to have a Lambo, bro. You can sell courses and info in every single niche. There's 3 main markets, you have to understand that. Every time I try to make this pie chart, I just fucking mess it up. That's 2. Okay, finally. So first, there's the fitness market, then there's money, and then there's dating. Those are the 3 main markets. And everything else is going to fall within a subcategory in that market. For example, within the fitness market, there's going to be different types of diets, different types of workout plans, different types of sports, that kind of thing. In money, there's going to be real estate, there's going to be the stock market, there's going to be starting a business, starting an online business. And even within starting an online business, there's going to be different types of businesses. So as you can see, it's just a big, broad market, but within that big, broad market, there's tons of smaller sub-markets. That's what we call them. Same thing with dating, you get my point. So first, you're going to have to pick, do I want to do something in the fitness market, in the dating market, or in the money market? And then once you've picked that, for example, let's say we choose to do fitness. Fitness is a huge industry, like huge. Now, what do you do? Are you like a gym bro? Are you all about swimming? Do you want to work with like competitive athletes or everyday people who just want to look good on the beach and take their shirt off, feel confident in the bedroom? What is it that you want? What do you relate to the most? What's your story? And it can even be like all of the three, for example. You can build a community around just life advice in general, like mindset advice. I've seen people make millions with that, even though it sounds basic. Now, what should you sell? Should you start with a course or a high ticket coaching program? So what's the difference? When I say high ticket coaching program, a lot of people get it the wrong way. They think they've got to do one-on-one calls with people all day long and that's how they're going to make money. The old stupid way of doing coaching is you charge, for example, $50 to, let's say, $100 per hour. And again, if you worked 10 hours a day at $100 an hour, you're making $1,000 a day. It's $30,000 a month. Like, lots of people would be willing to do that. And you can do that if you want to get started, really. But it's much easier to just sell a high-ticket program or a course that sells on autopilot even while you're asleep. The day I had my first $997 day when I was 21, I sold a passive online course. So the sale happened at like 4 a.m. for me, and I just woke up and I saw somebody joined your Slack group, and I was like, wow, wait, what's going on? Because the only way for somebody to join the Slack group is to, pay my course, like buy my program. And then I was thinking, oh yeah, but it's probably somebody who got the lowest installment plan, like for example, $97 a month for 12 months. Oh, and then they're probably not gonna keep paying, or they're gonna want a refund. Like, I had always all these beliefs. And then I go on my dashboard and I see $997. I was like, what? And from that day, I knew I would never give up this business model because it works. So the pros of a course is you're typically going to sell it for $50 to $997, and it's going to sell while you're sleeping. Some courses sell for $997, but this is the hardest type of funnel to pull off. Same thing for $997. So if you want to sell a course, I suggest it be between $50 to $500, or you can sell a monthly membership for like $50 a month, or $100 a month, anywhere in between, like even $20 a month works. A high ticket program, on the other hand, is something that you're going to sell for at least $1,000. Really, $1,000 is not that high ticket. It's a way for you to get started with high ticket, and it's easier. But really, high ticket is going to be at least $2,000 to, $8,000 plus, and there's no limit. High ticket, there's no limit. There's a minimum, which would be $2,000, honestly, but there's no limit. The advantage is if you get 10 customers per month, or 10 customers depending on if it's a monthly deal, you're making $20,000 per month already from 10 customers. Whereas if you sold something for $20, you're gonna need 100 people to be making just $2,000. So really, $2,000 out of 100 people, or $20,000 out of 10 people. That's why I much prefer high ticket. Now the catch is, if you want to be selling high ticket, it has to be about a painful problem. Like, if you're just helping people to lose 2 pounds, it's not a big painful problem, so you need to sell it for a cheaper price. The more painful the problem, the more expensive the program can be, because the more support there's going to be and the more valuable the transformation is. Now, there's something super important you need to understand, and that's the truth of why you're still broke right now. By now, you understand that most people are broke because they pick the wrong business models instead of doing what will actually make you rich, like filthy fucking rich. But then there's these 4 things that you're most likely doing that you don't even realize are killing your progress. The first thing is you've got no real urgency. Let's be honest, you can afford to stay in the same situation. I don't care if right now you're in a shitty position, you've lost your job, you've lost your wife, or you live paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you go to university, and then on the side you work a shitty part-time job so you can afford like groceries and whatever. You don't have any real urgency. The reason I know is because, even myself, I procrastinated starting the business that changed my life for more than 7 months because I had no real urgency. I could afford to stay in my shitty situation. I tolerated it. And if right now you've been in the same shitty situation for months and years, you tolerate it, that's the truth. And nothing's ever gonna change until the pain of staying exactly where you are is gonna be much stronger than the pain of change. That's when things change. So right now, if you haven't done anything, if you haven't started your business properly, or it's been years or months, you don't have real urgency. You tolerate the shitty situation you're in. And that's also why things like social media, video games, porn, they're dangerous. You know why? Because they keep you comfortable. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between a video game, a movie, and real life. That's what you really need to understand. And if you don't believe me, when you think about the kind of person you're attracted to, you get horny, your dick gets hard. Even though it's not real, right? There's nothing physical near you, it's just in your head. But your body reacts as though it's real. When you wake up from a nightmare, you're sweating, you're out of breath, you're scared, you're afraid, you're shaking. Sometimes you don't even want to leave the room because you're so damn afraid that there's a monster, even though you know, well, no, there's not. It's because your brain can't tell the difference. So when you watch porn, you play video games all the time, etc., you're sedating yourself. You're trying to avoid the pain, and the issue is, it's preventing you from having a real urgency. And then it means you can afford to stay in the same situation because you're not in enough pain. Number 2, you're scared of losing money, like investing in yourself, trying a business, and maybe it fails, maybe you lose a few $100, a few $1,000. But what you don't realize is that you're broke, so you already have nothing to lose but time. When you're afraid of losing money, of investing in yourself, what you don't realize is that you're telling yourself, I don't value my time. Like, it's the most valuable thing I have. I'm never gonna be 20 years old twice. I'm never gonna get the month that's going by right now. I'm never gonna get that back. Like, once that year is gone, it's gone forever. Once that minute is gone, it's gone forever. I'll never get it back. But you're okay with that because you put money on a pedestal. Dude, you've got to realize, you can have as much money as you want. Some people are billionaires, fucking trillionaires. But look, we're all gonna die at the same age pretty much. You know? So it's like, you don't have time. You really don't have time. Ever since I was a kid, people told me, you have time, you have time. No, you don't. You absolutely don't have time. You're gonna die sooner than you fucking realize. You do not have time to mess around. So right now, if you're afraid of losing a few $100 or a few $1,000, realize this. You should be afraid of wasting your time, not of losing money. You can make more money. Your time, you can't ever get it back. Number 3, you don't want it as badly as you claim you do. Because again, it comes back to what I was saying earlier. You've got no real urgency. If right now you could not tolerate this shitty situation, you would do something about it. You'd invest in yourself, you'd try a business, you'd do something, other than just watching content and researching. But first, you don't believe that you can do it. You're afraid of losing money, even though you don't admit to yourself that time is worth more than money. Like, yes, you admit it in your head, but you're not honest with yourself. You're afraid of change, and deep down you tolerate your situation. You don't want it as badly as you claim you do. And number 4, your environment is designed for failure instead of success. So it's the same thing. If you're surrounded with people who don't believe that online business is real, they think it's a scam or whatever fucking bullshit these brokies are gonna say, or they think, oh, the corporate path is the way to freedom, to making money. I mean, come on. You know that these people are full of shit. You're probably like the only person in your environment who actually knows that the corporate world is a fucking scam that's designed to drain the life out of you and treat you like you were a robot just meant to produce and produce and produce, and then you pay your taxes. Nobody gives a shit. Your boss doesn't give a shit about you. The government doesn't give a shit about you. I mean, they only want you to pay taxes. Other than that, they really don't give a shit, believe me. So not only is your environment designed for failure instead of success, because you're surrounded by losers, people who don't believe in a better life, people who don't even want to try, people who are fine of being the slaves of a boss and a government. They're okay with having 2 weeks of vacations a year, if they're lucky, so they can escape from their horrible job and their routine where they have to take the fucking subway to go to work. And they still have to ask for permission to get these 2 weeks of vacations on a budget, bro. But then your direct environment is also designed for failure because there's like Netflix, there's junk food, there's video games, all of these things that you can use to sedate yourself, to pretend that it's gonna be okay, that you're not in as much pain as you really are. And until you get rid of all of this shit, you will have no real urgency to do anything. That's why most people who watch the YouTube videos I make, for example, I know they don't take action because they don't have enough urgency. They don't want it as badly as they claim they do. And you can be in a lot of pain right now. Right now you might be thinking, no, I am in a lot of pain. Yeah, okay, but let's be honest. Don't you sedate your pain with things like bad habits, with drugs, with Netflix, with video games, with porn, with all these vices? You tolerate it. And you can't afford to stay in the same situation. Most people don't do anything. Most people just don't change because they tolerate it. So do not stay like these people. The message I want you to get from this video: sell info, drop all the shitty business models, and work on these things. Get rid of all the shit that's blocking you. Now, if you want me as your mentor, you want me to show you step by step how I've made a fuck ton of money like that on the internet, and by the way, all of that is in literally profit, most of it, there's a few more spots for a free consultation call with me. You can click on the link in the description below. It's gonna ask you to fill out a form so you can apply for it. and book your call with me. We reject a ton of applications, so just because you fill out the form doesn't guarantee you'll be able to book a call. That being said, when you apply, you might get the chance to join my premium mentorship program and to learn from me directly. So with that said, apply in the description below before all the spots are taken, and I'll see you on the other side.